How's it going again, guys? It's Cranky Yankee here. My hair looks terrible. I have got to talk about this because all I can say is that revenge is sweet. Very, very, very sweet. I've been very depressed today because my Pittsburgh Penguins lost 4-0 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they're definitely the Maple Leafs tonight. Out of all the humiliation that this team has been through in the last 5 to 10 years, this tonight is probably going to go down in the history books as the most embarrassing loss the Toronto Maple Leafs have ever had in their over 100 years as a professional sports franchise. They lost tonight to a 42-year-old Zamboni driver who works for them. I can't make this shit up. For those of you who don't follow hockey, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. And it's probably pretty funny to you. He's a Zamboni driver. He was the emergency goalie because both of the Carolina Hurricanes goalies went out with injuries tonight, God knows what. And it wasn't even like he went in for like 2 minutes like Scott Foster did last year or the year before. No. He didn't just go in for the last 5-10 minutes of the game. He played a period and a half. He played 30 minutes, right? 30 or 40 minutes. He played almost 2 periods, I think. And he only allowed 2 goals. Toronto signed this man. He's obviously better than anybody you have in your system right now. You guys keep trying to find the perfect backup goalie. Bam, there he is. He just beats your ass. He works for you, man. Sign him. Give him a PTO or some shit. Who knows? Do it as a fucking PR move. Whatever. It'd be cute. People would like it. It'd be a way to save some face after completely losing it and losing your whole ass against the Carolina Hurricanes. And anybody who's a Leafs fan, I'm sorry. In my opinion, the Hurricanes are a better team. They're a very underrated team. They're a good team. They're a threat. They have lots of threats on that team. Sebastian Aho, I think he's way better than people give him credit for. He's a good player. They got some really solid people there. I think they don't have Eric Stahl anymore. I think he's in Minnesota, right? But they got Jordan Stahl, who's all right. He's kind of as good as he used to be. Former Pittsburgh Penguin Jordan Stahl. Yeah. You know me, I love my former Pittsburgh Penguins. I love all the Penguins and anybody who's ever played for the Penguins. Which is why I'm still a huge Carl Hagelin fan, even though he plays for Washington. Anyways, but yeah. So tonight was a historic night. I think this is probably going to be a game that everybody remembers for a very long time. Because Charles Ayers, I think is his name, or Ayers or something like that. It's something similar to that. Carl Ayers, Charles, something like that. Anyways, so the Zamboni driver basically for the Toronto Marlies was the emergency backup goalie in Toronto tonight, and Toronto couldn't even win. It's what, are you afraid to hurt this dude? It's look, here's my opinion on this. Maybe I'm a cold person, maybe I don't care, but here's the thing. I was never highly skilled athletically, but I was very competitive when I played sports. I'm not a big fan of watching, but I really enjoyed playing soccer. I was the smallest guy in the team, but I was really competitive. I would slide tackle guys. I'd be really fast. I'd always hustle 100%. I was really competitive. I was look, I'm not the best talent-wise, but I'm going to make up for it with work ethic. Fuck off, light. But anyways, yeah. I feel I don't care if it's the emergency goalie. You play to win. If you're going to put fucking 10 goals in, put 10 goals in, who cares? He's, by all intents and purposes, nothing against him, but he's a Joe Schmo, dude. He's some dude off the street, basically. You lost a actual NHL game that meant points in the standings to a guy off the street. The guy hadn't played hockey in 5 years. I don't think he'd ever played professional hockey in his life. That's sad. Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Kasperi Kapanen, William Nylander. None of these guys could score? None of those guys could win? I don't know if they scored. They scored 2 goals on him, but no, you guys couldn't win? For 30 minutes? You had 30 minutes with a guy off the street and you couldn't capitalize on it for a win. Seriously. Shameful. But you know what? Bravo to the fucking Hurricanes, and bravo to that guy, to the Marlies Zamboni driver, because you know what? He's going to write a book about this. There's going to be a movie made about this. I guarantee it. There'll be a book written, or a movie, or both, or something. Someone's going to make money off this. If he's smart, he's going to take this story, and he's going to run with it milk it for as long as he can, and if I were him, I'd write a book. Just write a book about the experience. Look, they made a whole movie. And the funny thing is, today is the 40th anniversary of the movie that I'm about to talk about, Miracle on Ice, 1980. They made a whole movie about one game. I mean, yeah, there was told the story of more about it, but the main focus of that was the one game. Now, they had the practice and training and stuff, so you can kind of use that to fill out a movie. But you can start it as have it be just start it with his life, his day to day, he gets up in the morning and how he goes to the rink, and maybe hella things for his wife, and they're sitting eating meatloaf one night, and he's like, babe, I was like, hey, I was like, they're taking, I'm thinking about applying for the emergency goalie job for the Marlies or for the Leafs, blah blah blah, and then she's like, oh, well, that's nice, honey. Maybe you should do it. Or maybe she's like, you've always loved hockey. You never know. They might need you sometime, blah, blah, blah. Or make some kind of thing about it. And then have it be how he's thought maybe he didn't really think much of it. It's whatever. It was there. I'll just apply. And hey, I'm a Zamboni driver. I'm going to be there anyways. So it kind of works because generally that's one of the requirements of being an emergency goalie is that you have to be present at every home game just on the off chance that something like this happens. But I think it could be a really cool movie. It could work. If done right, and I think it could be an interesting story, because it's a great story to tell. Anybody who's a fan of sports will love this story. That's it for me, guys. I'm the Cranky Yankee. This is going to be a shorter one, but I just wanted to laugh, basically, at the Maple Laughs, because I can't. He was a Zamboni driver. He worked for you. I mean, it's crazy. And it got me to thinking, one more thing I do want to pose before I end this video. They have emergency backup goalies, right? Have they ever had, emergency skaters? Do they just skate, if you get a lot of injuries, say you get 6 guys injured in one game, because if I think about it, that'd be the only possible way this would happen was if you had more than 6 guys injured in a single game. Because typically you have the 4 lines, and then you have 3 depth players, which is usually 2 forwards and a defenseman, or if you're some teams, a defenseman, a forward, and a goalie. So if you have 3 goalies, then 5 players, but nobody uses 2 goalies as depth. So the minimum 5 players, generally 6. Would you just roll with 3 lines then? Or would you have emergency defensemen? Or something like that. Would you have the guy who's the emergency goalie, here's a stick, throw on some pads, you're gonna play defense. Or you're going to play forward or something. Would you do that? I feel like you'd probably just roll with 3 lines or whatever. But it'd be kind of crazy. I mean, that would never happen. It makes more sense with, emergency backup goalies because you have 2. And it's feasible that 2 people get injured. We've had it happen a couple of times already in the last few years. But anyways, that's it for me, guys. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think of the whole absolutely hilarious destruction of the Toronto Maple Leafs in their own arena by their own Zamboni driver? Yeah. That's it for me, guys. I'm the Cranky Yankee. Have a good one.